sister. How are you?
Om Shanti. Om Shanti, brother. I'm fine.
Okay, sister. Today, let's see 23/7/1969 AV Murli. The title of that is Basis of Success is the Power to Discern. What does Babdada see when he looks at each of you? Babdada is seeing four things in each of you. What are those four things? Everybody shared their own ideas. Firstly, he is seeing the crown. Secondly, the throne. Thirdly, the effort. Fourthly, the fortune. So whenever Baba sees us, he is seeing not our face, but he is seeing the crown. Crown represents the purity, responsibility. Usually he says that, maybe in this Murli, maybe it would be different. So how much responsibility you have taken in changing the world into heaven. Second, the throne, whether you are able to rule over yourself, over your senses. Third, the amount of effort you put in becoming soul conscious and also in spreading the message. Fourthly, the fortune. So, how much effort you have put and accumulated your fortune. So, here he is saying for these four things in each one. Do you know what the crown of the confluence stage is? So, today, Bab Dada has come into the gathering of the children who are seated on the throne and who are also wearing a crown, which means he is saying the children who is the king of themselves. Uh, so who has the self sovereignty, that is ruling over oneself, one's own senses, and also they are wearing the crown, the responsibility to change the world. Only those who are wearing a crown have been invited into this gathering. So only those who are doing service, Sevadaris, they are invited to this gathering. But each one's crown is different according to their own capacity. Not everybody is doing the effort or seva to the same extent. Obviously, there will be difference. Baba was saying who had which crown and which throne at this confluence stage, because not everybody is going to have full control over their senses. Not everybody is going to take full responsibility of converting hell into heaven. So Baba is saying, according to their capacity, what kind of crown and what kind of throne are they sitting on. And those who are wearing a crown, he is checking whether it's a large crown or a small crown, whether they have taken a huge responsibility or they have taken just a small responsibility, which means they are giving knowledge only to their center, not to the other people, other district, other center, uh, people of other languages, people of other countries. So they are those who are considered to be wearing a small crown. So those who are doing unlimited service beyond any boundaries of language, district, center, everything. So this is the world service, not the center service or the town service. We are doing the service to the whole world of spreading the message that God has come. So that's what he is saying. And whether they constantly have the crown on their head or whether they sometimes take it off and leave it aside. Because not everybody is conscious of their responsibility all the time. Because no matter what we do, we have this responsibility to spread the message through our words, through our action, through our intuition, attitude. So we have to do seva through these three things all the time: thought, words, and action, constantly. not only when we are at the center, not only when we are giving knowledge to somebody. So when we are conscious that we are spreading the powerful vibration to the whole world all the time, it means they are wearing the crown constantly, continuously. If they only while they sit during evening yoga or Amrit Vela yoga, they are spreading waves of purity, it means they are wearing the crown temporarily. Then they are just setting aside their crown. So that's what about the first paragraph. Now you continue with the second paragraph, sister.
Okay, okay, brother. All of you know yourself because you are the ones who are specially chosen jewels. And so you must have at least that much recognition. Can you design your effort and your fortune? Can you discern yourself fully? For instance, if you went into the advance party, what did your fortune be according to your present effort? Do you understand that? Do you know your present effort and your fortune? Only when you can recognize yourself can you recognize others. It is the essential to know this because such a time is coming for which there will be the greater need of power to discern. This is the method to attain success in service. As your power of discrimination becomes powerful, you will continue to have success because because of you not being able to recognize fully and because others do not receive the methods through which their fortune could open. There isn't so much success in service. What result is visible of you? Those who do less service, what result is visible of those who did less service? Many subjects are created, but not so many heirs are created.
Hairs
Very
are
few,
created. Hairs.
very few heirs being created beings that you are not able to perceive their
Perceive.
pulse.
Perceive their pulse. Hmm.
Perceive their pulse.
Hmm.
When you are able to
Diagnose a
diagnose
patient.
a person accurately. When
Hmm.
you are able to diagnose a patient accurately, you are then able to give him the right medicine and the disease when finished. What happens when the disease is finished? The Pandavas, who were instruments, expressly need the power to perceive
Perceive.
whatever
Hmm.
perceive
Hmm.
whatever is to happen in the future. They also need the power to take decision. After the power to take decision, there has to be the power to solve problems. Then you will able to face anything. And after you have faced everything, you will attain the success of revelation of the
Yagya.
yaga,
Yagya.
igya.
So this is an amazing Murli, because Baba is saying everybody knows that we are the specially chosen jewel of Baba. So at least you have recognized that much of your value. We are not an ordinary soul. We are specially chosen by God. So Christians usually use this word, I am chosen by God. So now you have to understand your effort and your fortune. So the amount of effort equals your fortune. If you put less effort, you are accumulating less fortune. If you put more effort, you can accumulate more fortune. So can you discern yourself fully? Can you analyze yourself? Analyze your effort and the fortune you have accumulated accordingly. For example, if you are leaving your body and going into the advanced party now, what do you think your fortune will be? Because once you are into the advanced party, you won't be making any effort. Whatever effort you have made now, that's it. Only that much fortune you have accumulated. Because in advanced party, you won't be taking knowledge again. So you have to understand that. You have to know the value of the time. We don't know when we will leave this body. So every single second matters, whether we are able to be soul conscious, whether we are able to see each other as soul. If you can't, then when are you going to do? After leaving this body? So this is a warning. Although it doesn't sound like a warning, it is actually a warning. So you should be able to analyze your position. That's why Baba asked to be to stay in the unlimited and see all three times, especially your future. Because whatever you do now, you are going to repeat in the future. So you have to be cautious of it all the time. So only when you can recognize yourself in this effort and fortune, can you be able to recognize others. Because there's going to be a time when there is a greater need for the power to discern. Because that's how you attain success in service, or else you can't. Because you have to discern initially whether you are speaking with the devata soul or soul of other religion, because you will know by how they respond. First, they will listen to you very eagerly. You can see it in their eyes. So you can be sure that they belong to our clan, deity clan. So you can give them happily whatever they need. Uh, this knowledge in expansion. But there will be some, especially in exhibition, they have come for something, they thought of seeing something. So when you teach them, they'll be seeing here and there won't be that interest. Then you shouldn't be wasting much time. You should just say, think of God as a point of light, consider yourself to be the soul. That's it. You have to leave them. And there are other people who will ask unwanted questions, thinking they are more intelligent. Maybe they have read many. So we should say, okay, that's what God says. We are saying, okay, brother, as you wish. You have to let them go. We can't argue, brother. If you are ready to accept it, we are ready to give it. If you want to argue it, of course, we are not that talented. You should be humble enough to say this and let them go so that you can save your time and energy for doing seva for others. If you keep on arguing with that person for hours, not only you are wasting your energy, you are wasting your golden opportunity to give this seva to everybody. So that's why you need this power to recognize. That's when you will be able to succeed in service. Because for us, time is so precious than money. Because we are accumulating every single second. And more importantly, we need to be connected to God for the power to discriminate to work, to become powerful. Only then we will get all powers. So when the power to discriminate becomes powerful, then you will continue to have success. Because Baba says if some person afflicted with disease comes, doctor should be able to recognize his condition first. What kind of disease he is undergoing, he has to ask the symptom. Only when he is able to recognize the disease can he give the correct medicine. So the disease is cured. If he can't even find that, how can he give the correct medicine? So we are the spiritual doctors. Of course, head surgeon is Baba, and we are the next surgeon in the next level. So since you don't recognize fully, you are not able to give them the correct method. So their fortune is not even open. So success is not there in your service, because you should understand what they need first, whether they are thirsty for the knowledge, whether they are interested in this knowledge at all, or else you will be wasting hours that nothing enters their mind. So this is the biggest mistake all serviceable children do in the beginning, or even at the later point of time sometimes, especially when they think that they have to give this knowledge to their relatives. Maybe they are not interested. Maybe they are atheists, strong atheists, believing that they are right. You may try to crack it down a little, but you have to be time conscious at this point. Spend not more than 5 minutes. You should be able to understand his position within 5 minutes. If you can't recognize it in 5 minutes, you can't recognize it even if it is for 5 hours or 6 hours. You will just be wasting your time. So that's the thing. So if he's interested, we can go on with the time cycle, saying about heaven, hell, vices that made us come down, everything. Or else just say them, God is a point of light. Just remember him as a point of light. The moment when they respond negatively, till then it's because they will definitely react. Or else we can see it in their eyes whether there is interest in listening to this, because it would be like seeing the lover. When we are teaching this knowledge, they will be staring as if they are seeing the lover. So that's when we can find that they are deeply interested in this gyan. So that's when we have to give them fully. So since you don't recognize this, you waste your time, and when the worthy soul comes in front of you, you don't give him what he wants. But instead, you will be wasting your precious time with unworthy souls. So you should be able to understand whether they need mukti or jivan mukti, liberation or liberation in life. So most of them need only liberation. For that, remembrance of God is enough. Just say them, remember him as a point of light in the gold and red colored light world. But if you feel that they belong to our clan by their showing interest in this knowledge, then you go around the full time cycle, give them everything in short and also clear, then ask them to continue in the Brahma Kumari's class. So that's the thing. So if somebody is doing less service, then what would be the result? You would be creating subjects, not heirs. Heirs are those who are going to come into the kingdom. They are not subjects. So only when you have the power to discern whether they are the subject soul or the heir soul, you will be able to serve them accordingly. So the reason that you are able to produce only few hairs is because you can't understand their pulse. That's the reason. You can't give the same medicine to all patients, right? So everybody needs different medicines because their condition is different. Likewise, we are not supposed to give the same kind of knowledge to everybody. You should be able to perceive the difference. Only then you will be able to give the correct kind of knowledge to them. So, especially the Pandavas, usually Baba calls brothers as Pandavas, but in general, it represents both brothers and sisters. Pandavas who are instruments especially need the power to perceive whatever is to happen in the future. So they should be able to understand the future consequence of their present action. So only then they will act accordingly. And also they should be able to decide in an instant. So for that they need the power to decide. So after taking the correct decision, they should be able to solve problem. You know that you have to do this. Now you have to do that. You have decided that this is the solution. Now you have to do it. For that you need to face the problem. So you need the power to face. Then obviously there will be success in the revelation of Baba, revelation of Yajna, revelation of Brahmakumari. So you should be able to have everything. So you should have the power to discern, power to decide, power to solve problem. That is power of determination, and then the power to face. Only then you will be able to attain success. So now Baba will be saying what you need to accumulate those powers.
Why has Baba invited you? Everything has to be accounted for. You have been invited here so that you can learn the knowledge of going up and down a ladder. In which aspect do you have to climb up and in which aspect do you come down? You have at times sincerity, but even while
Seniority.
being
You have attained
senior,
seniority.
you have at times seniority, but
Mm.
even while being a senior, you are not able to come down the ladder instantly and be a junior. It is essential to be able to become a master in 1 second and a child in 1 second. In some case, it is seen that when you have to be a child, you something comes a master,
You
something
sometimes
becomes
become a
a
master.
you
Mm.
sometimes become a master. How can you become the form that is needed at any particular moment? You have been invited here to learn that. For example, when you are for some gathering,
So Baba will not invite you for no reason. So he does everything with a reason. So the reason we are invited at that point of time is because Baba wants us to learn the knowledge of going up and down a ladder. So in which aspect do we have to climb up and in which aspect do we have to climb down? Baba says, of course, you are in this knowledge for several years, so automatically you become a senior. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't come down. You should be able to come down and behave like a junior. You should be a junior with a junior. You should not have that ego that I'm a senior. I will never come down. So that's the thing. That's the reason Baba has invited everybody to learn this art of coming down a ladder when it is needed. So you should be able to come down the ladder instantly and be a junior. So that's why Baba says Brahma Baba used to be a child with a child, and with adults he will be like an adult. So you should be able to do that. So here junior doesn't mean a child, and that is in age. It means a new child of new BK. So you should be able to answer them. Maybe their question looks childish in the beginning, but you should be able to give them the answer. Just don't say you keep listening to Murli, you will understand everything. Then they will go out and say they don't know anything. They couldn't even answer my question. So, so you should be able to be a master in a second, and you should be able to be a child in another second. Within a second, you should transform yourself like that. So that's the reason Hanuman, according to the path of devotion, has a blessing of changing his form. He can become a child. He can take a huge form. So that
Swarupa.
indicates us. That indicates us. You should be able to, in mind, you should be able to be like a child. You should be able to be like a master. But what happens is when you have to be a child, you are behaving like a master. When you have to become like a master, you are behaving like a child. So what's the reason that you can't? So that's why in the beginning, Baba says you need the power to discern when to be the master, when to be the child. So now you may know that you have to be a child, but still you can't be a child. What's the reason? What should you do to take the form of a child or a master according to the moment? So you are invited to learn that. For example, when there is a gathering, you will be given the chance of sharing your idea. At that point, you need to be a master. When sharing your opinion about any service, you can share your opinion. So mostly every week they will conduct meeting, or at least monthly once they will conduct meeting in all Brahma Kumari Center about the upcoming seva, and they will collect their opinions. So you should be able to be a master. Don't feel shy to share your opinion. Be a master and share your opinion. But it is not necessary that whatever you shared will be put into practice. Because if there were 20 people in a group, you will get 20 different opinions. It's impossible to put everything into practice because sometimes the opinions contradict with each other. So obviously they have to decide on something that is practical and that's worth considering. So the instrument brother or sister will take the final decision. And now this is the time for you to become a child and accept that. Now you shouldn't be a master and argue with them that my point is right. You are free to give your opinion, but it's not necessary that it will be taken into account. So even if it is rejected, okay. Even if it is taken, even then it's okay. But whatever the decision, especially Baba says in another Murli, when you are sharing your opinion, share with detachment. That is, you are giving, but you don't worry about whether or not they are going to take it. And maybe the majority of the group will have a decision, and you will be having a different opinion, which may be better than the rest. But still, you should be able to give up on that because you should not be the reason to split the unity between the group. Unity is very important, and their blessing is very important. No matter how good your opinion is, it is very difficult to attain success when there is no blessing from the group. Actually, they won't even cooperate because uh, nobody is interested in your opinion, right? That's the reason not everybody accepts that. So that's the reason Baba says go with the group. Even if your opinion is better than the rest, just sacrifice it. Just take that order as the order of Baba and be the servant or a child in accomplishing that decision. So that's when you have to become a child. You should not be the master and fight with them, because that's the reason for the division in many Brahmakumaris centers. You will see two groups in one center. Sometimes there will be two center in a certain place because of this, uh, the lack of this knowledge, lack of ability to put it into practice. That's the reason there is a division. So now Baba says, okay, how to be a child? Child will speak with great force and enthusiasm. That's it. In the next second, it will forget everything immediately. That's the child. Mom, my teacher said this one, my friend said this one. That's it. He will not think about it all the time. He or she will just say it to the mother. Then he will forget and go for playing or doing anything. That's the child. You should be able to give your thing, forget. That's it. So, in the middle of the gathering, especially in front of the instrument souls, uh, while sharing ideas, you be the master. Then, instantly, you should be able to make your intellect child. That is, you should be able to obey the decision taken by the majority and the decision taken by the instrument soul. So that applies even to the instrument soul. Even the instrument soul, if he has a better idea, when the majority has something in their mind, you should be able to give up that idea and take that which is agreed by the majority. Only then you will get their cooperation, because that is essential. They have to be in the service wholeheartedly. So, as a master, if you share your idea and become a child in the very next instant, that is, you have to forget that you have given something. Even if your idea is taken, you should be not able to remember that it is your idea. You should be able to forget that much. So, then, even if your idea is not given any importance, that's not going to shake you. So, there is benefit only in this. But if you become a master after giving your idea, what will happen? You will start arguing with them, quarreling with them. So instead of unity, there will be diversity. There will be a difference of opinion. So there will be split in the unity. First, the time is wasted. Second, your power is wasted. You could put that power in seva, in the mind service. Instead, you are just wasting your time, because um, we have four lessons: knowledge, yoga, service, dharna. So, using your knowledge, you are giving your idea, and based on your practical experience, you are giving that idea, which is for service. But when it is rejected, it is a form of obstacle. Now you should have the dharna of accepting that. So, everything goes hand in hand, all four subjects. Not four is entirely different from each other. So you should be staying in yoga while you are giving your opinion. So give the opinion and go to Baba. That's it. I don't worry about the result. That's the reason in Gita it is mentioned, do your duty and don't worry about the result. So, or else you'll be wasting your time. Why nobody is respecting my thing? Is it because I don't give money to the yajna? People will come with so many thoughts because of this. So let it be. You should be grateful that you are given the chance to share your idea. Whether or not they take it, that's up to them. You should not let the waste thought emerge, because your time is wasted, your power is wasted, your thoughts are wasted. So instead of loving each other, now your love will decrease for each other when you start quarreling. People will start avoiding you, especially when you are the instrument soul, center in charge brother or sister. When you have this attitude, people will not love you. Then they will not cooperate with you. Then how can there will be success in service? Because people need to come willingly, not forcefully. They should not call every time, Mataji, come here, brother, come here, please come. They shouldn't force. They should call the in charge brother and say, brother, is there seva today? Sister, is there seva today? So your approach should be so lovingly. You should be able to satisfy everybody. Only then you will become the king, because this knowledge is the training to become the king of the universe. So we are not ruling there by force, we are ruling there by love. So that's the reason when you take more responsibilities, you should be able to climb up the ladder in a second, climb down the ladder in second. You should not be egoistic that I'm senior. Why should I get down? They should listen to me. Am I senior or they are senior? So this kind of attitude is enough to uh, make the children go away from the center. So that's the reason Baba is giving these teachings in advance so that you will attain success in your future service. Because everybody must have done this mistake at one point or another. Now rectify those mistakes. Hereafter, make sure that's how you respect each other. You at least listen to them. Sometimes you may have when they start sharing the idea, in that very moment, if you think, okay, he is always going to come up with useless idea. He is going to come up with idea that is not practical. You should not have that thought in mind. You should give serious concern to that person. Maybe he would have caused many obstacles to the yajna. Despite that, you should be able to give respect to them. Only then you will be getting
Must
respect in
give
return.
all the person to share their opinion.
Yes.
We must give the space. We
Yeah.
must respond
Yeah.
others' opinions.
That's true. That's very essential. They may be young or old. Everybody needs to be given their respect. So, as you progress further, there will be more and more obstacles because more and more BKs join your center. So, obviously, when there is increase in the number of people, obviously there will be more obstacles. So that's why Baba is warning in future, in advance. Instrument should be very, very humble. So this is the responsibility, not the status, to boast yourself. This is your responsibility. So you should be very humble that Baba is sending so many kids. You should not be arrogant that I have done so much seva, I have opened so many centers, because that could happen. That's why Baba is warning. That might be the reason people are leaving you. Check yourself whether you are able to stay humble to both young and old, to senior BKs and junior BKs, to rich BK and to old poor BK, whether you are maintaining the same respect. You should give attention to this. So, to be humble means to giving up the regard for the self. You are sacrificing yourself. There is no me. Only we are giving importance to others, not to ourselves. We should be able to sacrifice everything. You should be sacrificing your regard, respect, everything. Because others' respect is more essential than your respect. Because respect is not something that you get out of demand. You shouldn't demand respect. It will come automatically when you give respect. So that's a famous saying, give respect and take respect. So
We
when you
must see
renounce,
all the person. We
Mm.
must see all the person same. We must very humble. We must treat everybody equal.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
that's the Baba says.
Yeah, that's the basic expectation from everyone. So the more you renounce, the more respect you receive. You should be able to renounce your self-respect, everything. Then people will have respect for you. But the more you try to seek respect, the more you are going to lose respect. So that's why you should have this practice of going up and down the ladder frequently. You should become a master. In the next second, you should become a child. You should maintain the balance. Baba, we would have seen this in frequently in Vardhan and slogan. You should be a child and the master. You should strike a balance between being a master and being a child. This is what that is. So it is from this Murli they have taken that slogan and blessing. So so that's the reason you are invited here, because you should know why you have come here. The reason Baba says this is why you are invited here is because when you go from Madhuban to your home, it will stay in your mind. Why did we go there? Baba said this is the reason he has invited me. What is that? So it's a tactic to remind us of that very important point. So far Baba has said you should have the power of discerning so that you can act accordingly. And now you should discern when to be the master and when to be the child. So when you succeed in this, then the service will be successful. For that, you should have the power to perceive situations. You should be able to understand the situation, whether this situation demands me to be the master or demands me to be the child. So you should be able to analyze the situation. When you have perceived, understood the situations, then obviously you will act accordingly. You should be able to act accordingly, whether it be a master or a child, then the result will be good. Only when you are not able to understand the situation, the result will be going wrong. So that's why, so you should be able to discriminate and determine what is needed, what is the solution for this. So for that, this usually in our center, sister says tyag and tapas combinedly all the time. So tyag means sacrifice, renunciation, and tapas means yoga. So both goes hand in hand. We have none but one God. So then we don't even have a body. Then what's the need for body consciousness and demanding respect from others? You should only be able to remind yourself that you should respect others. Don't expect that in return from others. That's very important. There are many students in school, they say that teacher is uh, more arrogant. When I wish him, he is not wishing me back. The student is demanding respect. So that shouldn't be the case here. You should be a child, you should also be a master. Okay, let's see the rest in the next video. Thank you so much for your time, sister. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Keep watching. We'll be posting English AV Murlis, Hindi AV Murlis, English AV Murlis in the same channel. So please subscribe and wait for more interesting videos from uh, Avik Murlis from 1969. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. Thank you, sister. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. Thank you all.